Welcome to the exciting yet highly addicting hobby of lockpicking. Now, just like any other hobby, when you start into lockpicking, you need to get a couple of things to get you going. And if you're not careful, you can very quickly spend a buttload of cash on things that you just don't need, or things that are complete garbage. But don't worry, because I got you covered, all right? I've been here for a minute and I know where to get all the cool gear. And I'm going to share that with you today. Bookmark this video because I'm going to leave links to everything that I go over. First things first, you're picking locks, so you need a set of lock picks. Okay. Disclaimer, I am a brand ambassador for Covert Instruments, and so I'm going to be recommending their tools, but it's not just because I'm a brand ambassador. I love their stuff and I use it all the time. And Covert Instruments has a few really good sets of picks that you can get for starting out. Now, depending on how much money you want to spend, you can get something in the ballpark of around $25 all the way up to $200, okay? So it's up to you. I'm only going to go over a couple of the sets very quickly because I have a whole entire video about what pick sets I recommend already out there. But if you go over to the Covert Instruments website, go to their homepage, go to the menu, and check out products and then lock picks. Okay, on that page you'll see a bunch of different sets, but I recommend the Genesis set. It's only 25 bucks and it comes with pretty much everything you need just to get started. If you want to spend a little bit more money, there's the Learn Lockpicking bundle, and that has basically the Genesis lockpick set plus a practice lock. If you do want to put some money into it and you have the money, I suggest going over to the Chop Shop down to Creator Kits and grabbing the Lady Lockpick set. It is $134, but Covert Instruments has shop pay, so you can break it down into 4 installments of like $33. Okay, so it's not that bad, but it has everything that I think that you need to start out. It's got lock picks, it's got bypass tools, and it's got every tensioner that Covert Instruments offers pretty much in the set. So it covers a lot of things. Like I said, it is on the pricey side, but you can break it down into payments, so it's not that bad. If you've got lock picks, honestly, you're covered for a good while. But eventually, you're probably going to want to get a vise, and you're probably going to want to get some gutting equipment, just things to take your lock apart. And for that, I recommend 44 Delta. 44 Delta is a website that is actually owned and ran by a fellow Locksporter. Pretty much everything that you could imagine 3D printed for Locksport, 44 Delta has it. Now on the website, if you go right to the homepage, you can click right on in and see all the products that he offers. The first thing I recommend is grabbing a chuck vise. The chuck vises can run from $20 to, it looks like $24, just depending on the colors that you choose. Along with your chuck vise, you're going to need a small rig clamp. You can either get that here on the 44 Delta website, or you can go over on Amazon to get the small rig clamp, okay? But you're going to need that if you get the chuck vise. Also, I definitely recommend getting the plug followers. They're $7. You can grab a set of plug holders for $5 and a pinning tray, which he has quite a few different ones, but you know, you can see they're all for pretty much around $10. Don't forget to like. Now guys, remember, all these prices are subject to change depending on when you're watching this video. Next up, you're probably going to want some locks. Now, when it comes to locks, this is where it gets expensive in Locksport because you're going to go through locks like crazy. And you're going to need to pick a variety of different locks to get good at lockpicking. So basically, you're going to have money for a bunch of different types of locks. You're in luck, though, because Greg Potter over on Facebook does sell bundles of locks where he's got maybe 20 different lock types and he puts it all in a bundle and sells it for one price. You can check that out. I'll leave a link to his Facebook page where you can get in touch with him if you would like to purchase a bundle of locks. If you want to just buy 1 or 2 locks, you can check out Amazon. They've got tons of great beginner locks on Amazon, and I'm actually going to leave a link to quite a few of them in the description of this video. So always check Amazon, especially if you have Amazon Prime, because you don't pay for shipping and they usually get to you within a couple days, just depending on where you live. Another great place to buy locks one at a time is All Pad Locks. Now they don't sell like terribly difficult locks, but all the locks that you find on All Pad Locks are great for beginners. Not only does All Pad Locks sell master locks, but they also sell the America 1100s, the pack locks, things like that that you pick once you get into it and you need some tougher locks. Now, I do have to warn you that the shipping, when it comes to all padlocks, it does take a while to get to you, especially depending on where you are. But again, they just got such great prices, and their customer service is amazing. So I definitely recommend them if you want some padlocks. Once you've been picking for a while and you need to find some tougher locks and some locks that you might not find in your own country, you can check out Discord in the Lockpickers United Lock Bazaar. They have tons of different locks that individual people in the group are selling, and you can usually find tons of great deals over there. Now, you do have to be on Discord and you do have to be a member of the Lockpickers United to see the Lock Bazaar, but there are people that are selling locks individually over there. I will leave the name to a couple of different ones that I use in the description of this video, but again, you do have to be on Discord to access that. You may run into some locks that are called dimple locks. They're a different type of lock that you need a different type of pick for. Hey, you might even live in a country where they're more prominent. Either way, you need a set of dimple flags. Now, there are a few different places to get dimple flags, but I found that most of them were either outrageously expensive or the dimple flags are cheap and chintzy and not worth your money. Personally, I've found that AliExpress has the best deal on dimple picks, and even though it does take a little while to get to you, they're definitely worth every penny. They're only 35 bucks. Okay? So that's pretty much the best deal. And AliExpress even uses Afterpay and Klarna, so you can, get these things and make payments on it if you can't afford to get them outright. But I do find that this is pretty much the best deal out there. Now, when it comes to springs and pins and shims, and all those little extra little doodads that you might need here and there, CLK Supplies has you covered on all of that. Okay, they've got key blanks, they've got pinning kits, they've got rekeying tools, depth and space keys, they've got shims, they've got springs, they've got it all. Okay, so I'll leave a link to them as well. You can go ahead and, browse around their website and see if there's anything there that you'd like to get. Side note, even though we are grown adults, in Locksport, we tend to like to collect stickers. When I say stickers, I just mean that tons of different Locksporters have put their logos on stickers, and some of us collect that kind of thing. So if you decide that you might want to make a sticker out of your logo, there's a couple of different places that you can check out. Personally, I use Sticker App and Sticker Mule. Now, when it comes to the pricing, those two places are pretty much neck and neck, so I suggest just flipping back and forth between the two to see who has the best deal at the time. And when it comes to poker chips, I use ChipLab. And as you can see, as soon as you click onto ChipLab, if you just put in your email, you can get a quick 20% off of whatever it is you want to order. Alright guys, I hope you found this video helpful. And again, links are all in the description. You're welcome. And if you would like more information about different pick sets for just starting out, you can check out this video right here. And I will see you on the next one. Subscribe.